Hello, my name is Thomas Handrich. I have studied a long time ago political science, and since 30 years I'm engaged in political education, we say in Germany. In England you say active citizenship. In Poland you say citizenship education, edukacja obywatelskie. And this is for me the key, because I really I think it is so important for an active and a real democracy, that people are involved in the process, that they are the subject, that they are the decision maker, and not somebody who says where they have to go to and what they have to do for. And for me it was a natural way really to focus on the Roma issue 8 years ago, because the Roma are the most discriminated minority in Europe, and I also recognized in the process that I had some negative stereotypes about them, as, let's say, nearly the whole of our society. And for me it was very, very interesting to find methods, instruments, and to answer for me the question, is an inclusion for them possible? Are they able? Or, as a lot of negative stereotypes are saying, they do not want to work, they are different, they are not in the same way in our society as we are, they want to be outsiders, they want to be travelers, and so on and so on. But that's not the true, I can say. This is a really very multi-dimensional question. I would start at first, we have to understand their culture, we have to understand their history mostly determined by exclusion. They came several hundred years ago. In Slovakia they got settled. In the 18th century, they had to settle. This one of the so-called assimilation programs. The King of Austria, Teresa, did, but they were not loved. They were not accepted. They came in in different waves from the 11th century, from northwestern part of India. They went in several hundred years on and on to the west, and after a very, very short time of saying welcome in Europe, they couldn't get land, they couldn't get a job, they couldn't get inside the wall of the villages and the towns. So they were all the time excluded, and sometimes, as you know, until the 18th century, the ladies got burned, and they were guilty for some diseases which came over the country, and this made them very, very not active to the society, very, very reserved. In the socialistic time, they tried to assimilate them in the way that they got all work, and they also wanted to distribute the Roma people into different villages and different regions. This was a time when in Czechoslovakia a lot of Roma people came to the Czech Republic. Before there were no of them. They were thinking, okay, let's distribute them, spread them, and then they will assimilate, they get work, and so on, so they will assimilate. Okay, formally they had quite often a better living standard, most of them, but neglecting their cultural roots, this is always no good for such a strong a culture as the Roma culture is. You cannot integrate people and neglect on this way their cultural roots. So it failed. This is the history of until '89, and the problem is really, and we have to face this, that since '89 the Roma has got in Slovakia, I would say also in other former socialistic countries, a lot of problems. They were the first who got fired, the first. Nearly everybody got fired because they were the most less qualified workers. And now you can say that in these villages where I'm 4 times per year, let's say 90% or 95% are unemployed. So they are mostly excluded from the first labor market. That's the second dimension. And now we are coming to another dimension. And this is a dimension of feeling excluded has something to do that somebody is excluding them. And this is a problem of all over Europe, I would say, of the European cultural different European cultures, that they have very negative stereotypes about Roma people. And this is a big barrier, because in Eastern Slovakia, I will just explain you how it looks like there. Roma is nearly not getting a job in a factory from an enterprise which is dominated by non-Roma. There is really it makes a big difference. It's difficult also in Eastern Slovakia for young non-Roma people to get work, but I think it's nearly impossible to find a job. Only the best ones are getting the worst job than in factories. And in our community, one of the best youngsters, he got a work in a factory, working, doing a very, very poor job.